There's a game being played in every room you walk into, at every dinner table, in every office, in every conversation that has ever left you feeling like you lost something and could not explain what. You were never told the rules. Most people were not, but the rules did not stop operating just because you did not know them. The people who seem to get what they want without fighting for it, who seem to command without announcing themselves, who never get outmaneuvered, they know something most people never discover. Machiavelli documented it in 1532. Almost nobody understood what he was actually warning you about. What Machiavelli understood, and what made his work so threatening to the people in power who read it, was that social reality operates on two levels simultaneously. The surface level is what everyone can see, the rules that are stated, the values that are performed, the positions that are announced. The surface game is what you were taught. Work hard, be honest, play fair, follow the rules. This is the game that is shown to you. One level beneath it is a different game entirely. It operates through signals most people never learn to read. It moves through what is not said as much as what is, and it has been running for as long as human beings have been in rooms together, competing for the same resources. The men who navigate life as if they have access to information you do not have, they are not smarter than you. They are not more gifted. They learned to see the second game. I am going to walk you through the 7 things you need to understand about how this game works. Point 5 is the one that will change the way you read every room you walk into for the rest of your life. Stay with me. There is no opt-out. You did not choose to join the invisible game. You were placed into it at birth and socialized through it for the first 20 years of your life. Every reward you received for compliance, every punishment for defiance, every approval you sought and either got or did not, all of it was training for a game the trainers rarely acknowledged existed. The people who trained you, parents, teachers, institutions, were mostly not running a deliberate program of deception. They were passing on the same game that was passed to them. The rules operate without anyone naming them, because naming them would make them visible, and visibility destroys the leverage the rules create. Machiavelli named them anyway. That is why the book was banned. The first thing you need to understand is simply this: the game has always been running. Your lack of awareness of it did not protect you from its consequences. It only meant that other people were making decisions on your behalf that you did not know were being made. You are already in the game. The question is whether you play it or get played by it. The surface game runs on money, position, and credentials. These are real. They matter. But they are not the currency of the deeper game. The actual currency is something more fundamental and more transferable: attention, status signals, and compliance. Attention is the most scarce resource in any social environment. Whoever controls where attention goes in a room controls the frame. The person who speaks last, who makes others wait, who creates the silence others feel compelled to fill. This is the person managing the attention currency. Status signals are the transmissions people make about their position in the hierarchy. They are subtle. The person who enters a room and scans it before choosing where to stand is making a status signal. The person who immediately searches for a familiar face to anchor to is making a different one. Compliance is the third currency. Not the act of following orders, the smaller, constant transactions of who adjusts to whom, who apologizes first, who fills the pause, who changes the subject when tension appears. And these micro-compliance signals are read by every player in the room and update everyone's calculations in real time. The man who does not know these three currencies exist still pays with them in every interaction. He just never sees the receipt. Everything up to this point is observation. What comes next is usable. Not everyone in every room is playing the deeper game with awareness. Most people are playing it on autopilot, responding to signals they feel but cannot name, adjusting to dynamics they sense but cannot see. But some people are aware, and they can be identified. The aware player is almost never the loudest person in the room. Loudness is a bid for surface-level attention. It is the move of someone who has not yet realized that durable attention is given, not taken. The aware player asks questions rather than making statements. This is not curiosity for its own sake. Questions create information flow in one direction while revealing nothing in return. Every answer given is data. The aware player is always accumulating more data than they release. The aware player is comfortable in silence where others are not. Silence is pressure. The person who fills it is the person who needs it to end. The person who can sit in silence without discomfort has removed that particular lever from anyone who tries to use it. Watch for who watches. The aware player's eyes move before anyone else's. They have already read the room before the room knew it was being read. The invisible game transmits primarily through what people do not say or do. Compliance is the clearest signal most people never learn to read. Watch who apologizes first after tension. Watch who makes the joke to relieve discomfort. Watch who checks the reaction of a specific person in the room after saying something. Watch who exits a conversation versus who decides when it ends. Every one of these behaviors is a transmission of position. The person performing them is not weak. They may be highly competent and well-intentioned. They are simply broadcasting their position in the hierarchy of this specific interaction, and every other player in the room is receiving that broadcast and updating their model. Machiavelli wrote that men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand. He meant that most people respond to what is displayed, not what is done. The signal matters more than the action behind it. The player who understands this manages their signals deliberately. They control what they display. They make choices about what to broadcast and what to withhold. The non-player broadcasts their position in real time, automatically, with no awareness that anyone is receiving. Point 5. This is what I told you to wait for. This is the thing. Every conversation, every meeting, every dinner, every silence between two people in a room, every exchange regardless of what it appears to be on the surface, all of it is a negotiation in the invisible marketplace. Every person you interact with is running a calculation. What does this person have that is of value to me? What would I need to provide to access it? Is this exchange worth entering? And critically, what position do I need to hold in this interaction to maximize my return? They are not doing this consciously. They are not sinister. They are human. This calculation runs at a level beneath deliberate thought. the product of millions of years of social animals in competition and cooperation. But here is the thing Machiavelli understood that almost no one else will tell you. When you know that every interaction is a negotiation, you can see the negotiation happening in real time. You can observe what each person is offering and withholding. You can see where leverage lies and where it does not. You can choose what you make visible and what you keep off the table. The man who does not know the negotiation is happening cannot make any of these choices. He walks into every interaction with his position already displayed, his values already legible, his leverage already given away before the exchange has started. Machiavelli put it precisely. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. The surface is what you offer to the negotiation. What you really are is what you withhold until the terms are right. The mistake most men make once they understand this is to overcorrect, to become guarded, cold, transactional, to perform detachment as a strategy. This is wrong, and Machiavelli would tell you exactly why. The detached man is readable. The man who is visibly withholding is transmitting the act of withholding. Other players see it. It announces that there is something being protected, which means the game now centers on finding out what it is. The strategic move is not maximum guardedness. It is genuine investment in something the observer cannot easily name or measure. The man who is fully committed to a mission that others do not fully understand is not performing mystery. He is genuinely occupied. This occupation is the most powerful position in the game because it means the observer must do the work of interpreting him, and interpretation without information defaults to assigning high value. Enter the game by having something real to be occupied with, something that requires you, something that makes your participation in any given negotiation a choice rather than a need. When you need nothing from the interaction, your position in it changes entirely. The last point is where this becomes permanent. The defense in the invisible game is not armor. It is two things, self-knowledge and information control. Self-knowledge means you have already done an inventory of your own leverage. You know what you want. You know what you fear losing. You know what flattery activates in you, what threat moves you, what approval you are still seeking. The man who has done this inventory cannot be surprised by himself in the middle of a negotiation. He sees the pressure being applied. He recognizes the trigger being pulled. He decides what to do with it instead of reacting from it. Information control means you make deliberate choices about what you reveal and when, not with coldness, not with performance, with strategy. You reveal strength when it is useful to establish your position. You conceal vulnerability not out of fear, but because vulnerability revealed to the wrong person at the wrong time is leverage transferred. The man who plays without being played is not the most powerful person in every room. He is something more durable, the person no one has managed to get leverage on. No one has found his fear. No one has located his approval-seeking. No one has discovered what he is willing to trade his position to protect. He knows the game exists. He knows the rules. He has mapped his own territory before anyone else could. That is not armor. That is the absence of openings. Go back to where this started. The game has always been running. in every room you have ever been in, around every table, in every negotiation you thought was just a conversation. The men who seemed to move through it with ease were not lucky. They were not chosen. They learned to see the second level, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Machiavelli said it plainly. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. The surface game is for the people who never looked deeper. Comment the word unseen. If this changed how you read the rooms you're already in. Subscribe to Machiavelli Strategy Code. New strategy every week for men who are done being moved and ready to start seeing clearly.